Hello everyone, this is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today I would like to paint my nails in this video. Now, I usually wear press-on nails, but the main reason for that is that I really enjoy rock climbing, and having painted nails, they constantly get chipped, and I hate the feeling of having nail polish on my nails while I'm climbing. But I will not be able to go climbing for a little bit, and so I thought I would take advantage of that downtime and paint my nails. And I do this every now and then, especially if I know that I'm gonna have, a week or two where I can't go climbing just because of plans or life. But I thought today I would do a video. I don't know if I've done a video painting my nails before. I know I've done one video where I painted press-on nails, and then I did another video where I applied press-on nails. So this might be my first nail polish painting my nails video. And I also want to give a little caveat. My hands are a little bit busted up right now, but they're healing, so please excuse that. So the polish that I picked out today is this one here, and this is by L'Oreal, and it is a tangerine color. I can't quite tell. I think that it said something else too. Yeah, I can't quite tell the full name, but it's definitely a tangerine color. And in person, I would say it even pulls a little bit more pink than what the camera shows right now. I feel like it looks very, very orange in the camera. And I got this somewhere for $2.99. I don't actually remember where. And this is a very, very bright kind of summer color. And I've just really been feeling these kind of brighter colors this last month. I had painted my nails recently in one of my favorite colors, and it was this kind of teal, blue, green, and I love that color. And so this is definitely not a color I naturally gravitate towards, but for some reason right now, moving into summer, I'm really kind of feeling the bright ones. So this is the one I'm going to use today. And then I also have a base coat, and the bottle is kind of all scratched up. Or is this? Oh, sorry, this is actually the top coat. But I have a top and base coat from Seche Vite. So this is the top coat I'll be using. And then this here is the base coat. So this is the Seche Clear base coat. So I'm going to first do a base coat on my natural nails. I haven't really done a whole lot of cuticle care or anything, so my nails aren't really in the best of shape right now, but that's okay. It's also fun because I've been able to grow them out a tiny bit these last couple of weeks, and so it's been fun to have some longer natural nails again. But before I do anything, I'm going to take off my rings because I'm always paranoid about getting nail polish on them or something, which I think would be fine. I think I'd be able to clean it off, but I would just rather take them off. So I'm first going to paint my nails with this base coat. And just really coat the brush. And then I'm just going to do a pretty quick application. I'm also not the best at painting my nails, which I think you will see when I get to the actual color. but I do my best. And, it's okay if it doesn't look the most perfect. And I feel like I have kind of shaky hands sometimes. I don't really drink caffeine. I think sometimes it is what it is. I do miss painting my nails more frequently because when I was younger and when I was in college and in my early 20s, I definitely painted my nails a lot more frequently, and I was getting into nail art, and I was never particularly good at it, but it was still fun to do, right? And then once I got into rock climbing, which I absolutely love, I wish that I could go more frequently. But once I got into rock climbing, it just isn't really as feasible, and I enjoy rock climbing more than I enjoy having painted nails. I know some people still can climb with painted nails, but like I said, it's just kind of a sensory nightmare for me. I'm just not a fan of it because we also use chalk to kind of dry our hands before a climb, and it helps with grip and just make sure that your hands aren't really, too sweaty. And so the feeling of that chalk on my nail polish, like I can just feel it on my nails, and I just do not like it one bit. So press-on nails are kind of my way to go. I am also right-handed, so doing anything with my left hand gets a little bit tricky. Okay, here we go. I might also adjust my lighting. I'm going to let this dry for just a second. I think I'm going to adjust my lighting so that I can have some better lighting and actually see what I am doing. But there is my base coat done. So I'm just going to let that dry for a second, and then we can move on with the actual color. Okay, so I just set up my ring light real quick after this was done drying. So it's quite a bit brighter, but I think I can actually see what I'm going to be doing. So now that my base coat is dry, I'm going to take the color. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake. It does sound like this one has a mixer ball in there. And then let's open this one up. That is the inside. So I feel like pretty true to the swatch color. Again, I think that what you're seeing is a lot more orange. Okay, so now I'm going to try and paint my nails, which I'm also not the most practiced at anymore. So please give me some grace. So I don't know how many coats this polish is going to need. I don't know that I've actually used this polish on my natural nails. There's one coat and it is kind of a little bit streaky, so I do think I will need more than one coat. Like I said, I'm not the neatest when I do my nails, but like, if there is polish on the majority of my nail, I am happy with that. And I usually like to dip the brush and then wipe off one edge and then use the other side because I feel like for most polishes that kind of gets off any that would be like too much. It'd be in excess a little bit too much. Oh gosh, that one I went over the edge a little bit too much. My hand was a little too shaky. Also doing this at the end of the day, so I feel like I'm kind of a little bit tired. Okay, so there is my first coat on this hand. Oh, it's such a disservice. It is such a beautiful, like, coral pink color, and my camera is just making it look almost like a traffic cone orange. But it is very, very like pretty and summery. So now let's attempt to do my right hand, which is painting with my left hand. Don't know exactly how long I'm gonna keep this color on. I feel like as soon as it starts to chip, I usually want to take my nail polish off because I don't like the feeling of chipped nail polish either. And I have quite long hair, so I feel like that's just also a sensory nightmare when I'm trying to wash my hair with chipped polish and it like gets caught in my hair and it's just rough. I feel like press-on nails usually are just my go-to just for convenience. I can just really quickly pop on a set. There's no like waiting for like dry time or anything like that like you have for nail polish. I can usually just pick out my set and get the nails all organized for which finger I want it to go on, and then I'm good with that. I'm gonna fix the tip of this one a tiny bit. Oh my gosh, my ring finger just shakes so much. I feel like I need a little stand to put my hand on when I'm painting my fingers, because I just don't really have anywhere, and I feel like if I do this I can't really see like all the way around my nail. I do have some really fun summer press-on nails that I am looking forward to wearing though. Alright, there is my first coat on my right hand. I do think my left hand came out a little bit cleaner around my cuticles than my right hand, but that is okay. So I'm going to close this up while this is drying. So I usually like to give this a little bit for my first coat. I think I actually did kind of a thicker first coat than I probably needed with this polish, but like I said, I think this is my first time using this one, so I wasn't exactly too sure what to expect with the formula. But so far I really like this one, and I'm hoping I'll be able to make some videos with this color on my nails, and then maybe you will actually be able to see what the color actually looks like a little bit better. I mean, it is pretty orangey. It's definitely not a natural color I would gravitate towards because I am quite pale, quite, cool toned. But I still think that it's a really fun color. And having it lean, like that tangerine pink. I think it's like tangerine, coral, peachy. Well, it's not peachy, but it's like all of those kind of colors wrapped into one. But it's very, very summery. I do think this would look really good on your toenails too, and some like white strappy sandals. I think that'd be really cute. Alright, I don't think it's probably been long enough, but I'm gonna do a second coat. Try and have it be a fairly light coat that just kind of smooth out some of the streaks in the color from the first coat. Okay. That second coat, really makes that color really, really pop. I think that I could probably get away with just one coat if I wanted. Oh no, accidentally went over the side of my nail there. I'll have to clean that up. But yeah, having that second coat, it's like very, very much that color. It's very, very pretty, very bright. Okay, got that second coat on. Now I'm going to do his hand. Okay. Oh, the second coat is so much messier than my first coat. I am not that worried. Oh my gosh, look at how crazy I'm getting. But it's like, I will be able to just take a Q-tip and clean up these edges and it'll be fine. And I'm also one of those people that is like, it'll come off in the shower if it's on my skin. And I'm not really looking for this to last me, weeks and weeks. I'm not doing something like a gel manicure where I really want it to be quite perfect and where I'd be worried about it being on my skin. So I'm not really too worried about this polish. Okay. I think that this polish is good with just the two coats. Oh, I really messed up quite a few of my fingers. On that second coat, I feel like I was doing so good. But now for the Seche Vite, if you haven't ever used the Seche Vite top coat, you are supposed to use it when The polish is still a bit wet, so not when it is quite dried, which is always a little bit weird for me, and I'm not always the best at this, but I am going to try it. And so I'm gonna take my Sèche-Vite top coat, but when it works, this is like the strongest top coat that I've ever found, and it just really makes things last really nicely. But it's just the fact of getting it to work nicely in the first place. So I'm going to take my polish for my top coat and really get a decent amount on there, so I get a good bead on the end of the brush, and then I'm just going to drop that bead right on top of that nail polish, and then I'm going to grab a little bit more, and then you can almost just glide it across the top, so you're not really trying to press in to the polish much, you're just gliding the top coat right over the top. Just like that. It's kind of hard to tell with a top coat. Alright. I just get a decent amount on the brush. And mine is a little bit low, so I feel like I'm having to kind of tilt and really make it work for me. And just lightly gliding it right over the top. This top coat does dry so fast, and I am somebody that will immediately start trying to use my hands as soon as I am finished painting my nails. And so I really need a top coat that does more than just dry the very top layer. Like, I need this to like make my nails completely dry to the bottom. And I feel like this top coat definitely does that. I mean, it is very, very strong. And I think that this is even one that is like not allowed in some states. Like, I think in California, like, this can't be sold in California because they have stricter regulations. Which is also maybe I shouldn't be using it then. But I use it so infrequently now. And, you know, I'm not pregnant, so I'm not too worried about like that. And, I mean, it does just work really, really well. I feel like I'm usually somebody with claims about products. Like, I really want to kind of dive into the science behind the ingredients and like why certain ingredients would be banned in some areas or some countries. And I just haven't really done the deep dive into Sèche-Vite, and I had seen those claims after I'd already purchased it. My thought also is like, I imagine a lot of the nail polish that we use is probably not the safest. So I do feel like this has such a nice shine. And it almost, to me, makes it look like a gel polish. Like, it has that finish of a gel polish, which I've never done gel nails professionally. I have a little UV lamp that I got years ago that I'd used a couple of times, but I honestly wasn't a fan of the gel polish I had gotten, and so I didn't really want to invest in more because I had so much regular nail polish, and so I never really went that route. Just gliding that right over the top. And one more nail, just my pinky nail now. Just finish up this one little side. There. Alright, so now I'm going to close up this lid. This thumb is still a little bit streaky, and I think that's kind of the only one that turned out a little streaky. But I'll have to kind of wait and see once this is fully dry. But so far I'm pretty happy with that color. It's very, very bright, but again, it is very summery. And I think, I do have some spots that I need to go clean up, but I really wanted to get my top coat on. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye now. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and were able to not mind my messy painting too much. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a